Hello and welcome back to the channel. Just like last month, I wanted to do another roundup to show you everything that I've been playing this month and to show that there are other things I play other than GT Sport. Now, anyone that's been following the channel will know that I have been doing quite a bit of Dirt 2 coverage as well. It's another franchise that I'm really into, and hopefully you guys will enjoy the ride with me and follow the career mode that I've been playing through. And just like last month, I wanted to cover any challenges that you guys have set me as well. And to be fair, it has been a busy old month this month, so I've only managed to actually complete one of those challenges. And when I say complete, we'll have to see whether I actually achieved it or not. But we'll get into that in just a second. Now, February's been a fantastic month for gaming, certainly for me anyway, and the things that I'm into. There has been one big surprise that came out of this month. And on top of that, there's been a couple of really big releases that I've been looking forward to for a very long time. As always, you guys have been really great when it comes to sending in requests. I've had a lot of drift setups come through that you'd like to see me do, and also a lot of other things, things that I don't normally cover. I haven't got around to a lot of them yet, but certainly keep your eyes on the channel because anything you have requested I should be getting to as soon as I can. As I go through the games that I've been playing this month a little bit later in the video, obviously what I'll do is give you my opinions on them, what I've been enjoying particularly with each one. But at the same time, I'd really like to hear from you and what you've been playing, and if there's anything else you'd like to see on the channel. It's always easy for me to just play what I enjoy and everything like that, but there's also a lot of games that I'm missing out on that you guys probably pick up, some of the smaller releases, maybe digital only stuff that I don't ever think to pick up and look at. But it would be great if you can give me any ideas of what you think I should be playing in the future. So let's start with the GT Sport challenges that I've received this month. Now, I've only managed to do one of them, and it's actually a challenge that's come from Crazy Driver. He's very regular down in the comment sections on these videos, and he's actually the guy that requested the 4C challenge before. So on the 4C challenge itself, I thought he was only joking, but he said he wanted to see me do 30,000 on Suzuka using the Honda Civic. Obviously for drifting, it being a front wheel drive car, it was never going to be easy. Like I say, I didn't actually think that he was being serious, but he then contacted me on Instagram and he did want me to have a go at it. So I figured, why not? Let's have a go. Chances are we're not going to get there, but let's see how many points we can get. Any of you that have been following the channel right from the beginning will know that I did a video a long time ago called Odd Skids, where I was actually trying to drift cars that you wouldn't typically take out for drifting in the first place. On that video, I actually used the Focus ST, so I was aware that you could drift a front wheel drive car. I say that very loosely, obviously. You can hold the handbrake up and power through with the front wheels, but it was going to be possible to get some kind of points from it, but how much I just wasn't sure. So you're seeing the run now, and I will just quickly say that this is by no means probably the maximum amount of points you can get by using the Civic on Suzuka. I didn't put that much time into it, but I did have a few goes to see what I could do, and this was by far and away the most points I got out of it. As you can probably see from what you're watching now, the biggest issue you've got here is the fact that the handbrake's up the whole time. There's just no pace to the car. It's a very, very slow lap, and yeah, getting any points is difficult because a lot of the scoring comes from the speed at which you're going and obviously the angle. Now, angle's not too much of an issue, but speed really is. So you're never going to get huge amounts of points, although what I ended up with here I was quite pleased with, and actually quite surprised, considering there are certain rear-wheel drive cars that I've been around here with and they struggle to get this kind of score. Now, if you're completely mad and you want to have a go at doing this yourself, the setup wise it's very simple. I've gone for comfort mediums on the front to give me as much of a pull out of the corners as I can, and obviously hards on the back to loosen it up a little bit. I've just firmed the whole car up, dropped the suspension, raised the anti-roll bar on the back a little bit to make it harder, and then I've just played with the gears a little bit to make sure there's enough of a pull in sort of second and third gear, because I have just left it in automatic because you're on and off the handbrake constantly. There's just too much going on for your fingers to worry about at that point. So there we go. In the end, I managed to get a 25,092. Definitely nowhere near the 30,000 I was asked to get in the first place. But at the same time, I'm quite happy with that as a score. There's definitely some areas that I could improve on. But at the same time, you know, it was a good challenge. I had a go at it. Unfortunately, this time I didn't quite get there. Like I say, I've still got a couple of outstanding challenges floating about as well, but if you have got any that you want to send down, these short ones like this are perfect for me. I don't get a huge amount of time to sit down and learn entire tracks and things, but certainly if you want to send a short one down like this, hopefully it will feature in next month's video. The other two videos I've mentioned in the run up to this challenge as well, which is the 4C challenge and odd skids, I will link down in the description, so if you haven't seen those yet, make sure you check them out. And just before I move on from GT Sport, I do see all your comments and I do appreciate we're all wanting to get together online at some point and have a bit of a drift session. It will be happening soon. I'm also going to try and set up a Discord soon for all you guys, so that obviously you can get on there, chat to each other and arrange your own things when I'm not about. But it would be nice to get together, maybe get a big drift train going. Yeah, we'll just have to see, but that should be coming soon. So let's move on to the other games I've been playing this month, and I'm going to start with a little bit of a random one. This is actually a PlayStation 3 game, and it's a game I managed to pick up a few months back. I actually imported it from Japan. It's something that I never got to play on home consoles. I did play it in the arcade and used to love it, but I had read quite a few different reviews and watched a few videos on YouTube of people trying to play this with a controller, and they were saying it was one of the hardest things to do. Now, I've had a problem trying to record PS3 footage and audio ever since I've started doing this, but I finally managed to work out how to do it and isolate both tracks, so it is now achievable. So I thought I'd have a go on it. I was going to put a whole video together, which I may still do, just depending on what you guys think and whether you'd actually like to see more of this. But I can definitely confirm it is a strange one to control using a control pad. In the arcade, obviously, it was set up with a steering wheel on the cabinet or sitting down, depending on sort of which one you used. But the thing with the controller is you only have to tap it slightly and the car just goes instantly into a slide. So it's very difficult to control. And also, my biggest problem with this, obviously, is the fact it's all in Japanese. So I haven't really got a clue what I'm doing. I've managed to get into the game. As you can see, the gameplay that's now in the background. I can play some bits, but I don't really know what's going on, whether I'm saving anything or, you know, or even how to select a different car. But it's one of those things. If you guys want to see more of it, I'll look into it. There must be some translations on the different menus that I can work out and then go from there. But yeah, you just let me know. Next up, we've got the surprise release of February. Now, whether it was just me living under a rock, I didn't hear anything about this whatsoever until the morning it got released. And all of a sudden, Respawn announced that they had Apex Legends out, and everyone was going absolutely crazy for it. Now, I've got a lot of time for Respawn. I think Titanfall 2 is still one of the best online multiplayer shooters you can actually get. Unfortunately, none of my friends or any of the people around me really were playing it when it first came out, or even now. So it was quite a solo experience for me, but I absolutely loved every second that I played of it. The gunplay is fantastic, and they've brought all of that over to Apex Legends, and it works really, really well. There was one thing that I definitely knew as soon as I heard about this game, and that was that I was going to be absolute rubbish at it, because it seems like any Battle Royale game I'm just terrible at. I've had a whole load of second places, which I suppose isn't too bad, but I still have yet to get a single win. It's something that eventually I'm hoping to get, obviously, if I keep playing it. I won't put loads of time into this game at all. Battle Royales, like I say, just aren't really my thing. But at the same time, I do feel like they've done a lot with this. And again, it being free, if you haven't even had a go on it yet, you might as well try it. It's not going to be for everyone, but at the same time, it's a very good game. It works very much like any hero shooter would do, so you've got specific characters that you can pick. Each one has their own abilities that sort of you can bring to the mix. Currently, the game only allows you play in groups of 3, but from what I've heard, they may be implementing a singles or solos and a duos later on. But as it is, it does work really, really well. I love the fact that when you're dropping in, you are actually attached to each other effectively. It means that even when you're going in with sort of random people, you tend to get less sort of people just shooting off in their own direction, so you're left on your own, because it works much better, obviously, when you stick together. So that side of it works well. The gunplay's been bought straight out of Titanfall 2, which I absolutely loved before. The guns feel heavy, they've got weight to them, and it just plays really, really nicely. It's fast paced, there's no messing about, so jump on there and you'll probably get a chance to kill me just like everyone else. Fucking mate, honestly. Next up is a game that, as I'm recording this, isn't actually out yet. It's Trials Rising. However, the developers did put out a open beta just before the release of the game, so I have had a chance to play on it, and it's fantastic. I mean, Trials is a game, or a series of games, that I've always loved. I've played them right from the start. It's something that I'm not particularly good at, again, just like seems to be the case for most games. However, it is something that I really enjoy. By their own admission, the game is incredibly easy to pick up, and it really is. You could definitely just jump straight on and have a go. But to master it takes a lot of time. If you've been again around watching the channel since the beginning, you would have seen I've done a couple of old videos now on the older games, just trying to get through them. So if you fancy watching some very mediocre gameplay, make sure you go back and check those out. From what I've seen so far, the game is very much the same as the previous releases. They've obviously added a couple of bits in there to keep it interesting, but it's one of those things, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And the game's been very, very good and very accomplished from the start, and they've always just built on it slightly. This time round, they've added in a 2-player sort of mode within the game itself, which means that one of you is actually affecting the balance of the bike and the other one's affecting the braking and acceleration. So that's going to be very, very challenging and going to take a lot of cooperation between two of you. So at some point, I'm sure me and the missus will have a go on that and probably end up having a having a row about who's doing what wrong. But it does look like it's going to be quite a fun mode. I will without a doubt be buying this game when it comes out, probably not on release but very shortly afterwards, just so I can play through it. I think most impressively though, more than anything else, is the fact that this game still remains a very, very cheap game to buy. It's releasing in the UK anyway at £20. I'm not sure what it'll be like around the world for everyone else, but for us that's sort of, well, it's less than half price of most full releases. You're going to get loads of content in there. And I've never been disappointed by one yet. So again, if you've never picked up the series before, maybe give it a go. It's quite a simple idea, but like I say, it takes a long time to master, and you'll have a lot of fun trying to get there. And the last game I wanted to talk about that I've been playing this month is actually a very old one, and it's probably a game a lot of you have already played. Now the reason I've gone back to this is because of the VR side of it. I never got to try it out before, but obviously now having the equipment to do it, I figured I'd give it a go. It's also one of the only games I've ever seen where I can actually drive my real life car in-game, which is the BMW M135i. Now the guys over at Drive Club, when they made this, got a lot of things right. Certainly when I jump into my car in VR, they've got everything perfect on the interior of the vehicle. It drives very, very nicely. Obviously it is a very arcadey feeling game really. I don't think they were ever going for a sim racer. But they did a lot of things right, and the only thing that really let them down was the release in the first place. I'm sure a lot of you guys were there when it happened, and were very disappointed, certainly if you pre-ordered the game like myself, that when it came down, the whole thing was meant to be a very social game, and none of the online features actually worked. They ended up having to strip a lot of the game out just to get it working, and then slowly, very, very slowly, in fact, over many months, bring in the different bits that they'd promised in the first place. But like I say, they did get a lot of things right as well. Unfortunately, I think they missed the boat because of that initial problem with the release itself, that a lot of people left it and never went back to it. But you play it now, the game is very, very good. The social aspect's fantastic. I love the leaderboards. I love trying to get my times down a little bit further than anyone else and see if I can get into, you know, your top 10 within your country for a certain element of a track and things like that. I love it. I think it all works really well. The cars feel great. There's nothing too serious about the game, and you can just throw them around and really enjoy it, but with an amazing sense of speed. And to be fair, weather effects that make it incredibly difficult to drive, just like they would in real life, if you were trying to drive down a country lane at 200 mile an hour with the rain smashing against the windscreen. It's never going to be easy, and it replicates that really, really well. With the VR aspect, and after playing everything that I've played over the last couple of months with VR, I have to say, going back to Drive Club, it's not the clearest image. It is quite fuzzy. However, what they've done really, really well, and what a lot of the other games aren't doing, is they've actually ported a very large portion of the game over to VR. So there's nothing really missing here. You've got a fantastic career mode, loads of challenges to do, and your time trials and everything else still exist. Whereas games like obviously Gran Turismo, you've just got a very, very small section of the game. You can only race against one other car in GT Sport when you're in VR. So to that side, they've done it. Yeah, it's been done so well that I think it's a proper, proper release in terms of VR experience, and it's well worth checking out if you haven't tried it yet, or if you did leave the game a long, long time ago and haven't had any reason to pick it back up. If you've got VR, give it another go now. I think you'll really enjoy it. Well, that just about covers most things that I've been playing over the last month. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I do enjoy making these, obviously, because it's just a little bit different from what I'm normally doing. As I've said throughout the video, I would love to hear more from you guys on what you want to see me playing. If there's anything in this video you'd like to see me actually make a video on, again, just let me know and I'll see what I can come up with. If you've enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I've got loads more content coming out over the next month, and I'll be sure to release another one of these videos at the end so you can see what I've been up to. I hope you all have a great March 2019, and I'll see you on the next one.